in the meantime, this GOP donor kind of maybe hearing this argument, holding back funds until the agenda that Republicans want to see get done gets done. He's a very big donor, and of course, a lot of people suck up to him. Doug Deason. Doug, very good to have you. What was the reaction you got from Republicans who were counting on your money, counting on your support?
I think they understand. I think it's been, fairly positive. And, they intend to get the president's agenda advanced, get health care passed, Obamacare repealed and replaced, obviously, and then tax reform passed. And everyone has the intention, so, we'll open it up. There are a lot of donors in Dallas who are frustrated with this, and, Dallas is truly the piggy bank of the Republican Party at this point. So, we're just telling them don't bother coming. We're not going to open the checkbooks until you get it done. And
wow,
it's been
you
actually
sound like
fairly
my father
positive.
with the allowance. You know, Neil, you have to actually do those jobs before you get the allowance. But you know what? We know the vice president is on the Capitol as we speak right now. He has a lot of planned one-on-one meetings with GOP senators, I assume as well, the reluctant ones on this health care thing. But are you in the camp that says just get it done because something beats nothing and anything you come up with is going to be better than the Affordable Care Act the way it is now? Others say, no, 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 no. If you're going to do it right, and this effort isn't right. Where are you on this?
I want them to get it done. I think they need to get it done, and this is so easy. I mean, they control the Senate, they control the House, they control the presidency. They need to set some general rules, like, for example, if you're going to cover the children up to 26-year-olds, that's fine, but how are you going to pay for it on the pre-existing conditions? Let's put a rule where you've had to have had insurance for the last 6 months, even 12 months. Put together some general rules, and then let's just send block grants back to the states and let the states decide how they want to spend it. Do they want to, increase Medicaid, I'm sorry, or not?
Well,
I
apparently
think
this
Texas
Medicaid
would use it
issue
responsibly.
has gotten to be a very thorny one. A lot of people, and I know Stuart Varney was talking about this on his show, and I readily agree with it, that once you get a program in place, it's very hard to take that away or even to change the requirements to continue getting it. And the dirty little secret is, as you know better than anyone, is that the Medicaid funding will continue to increase. It just won't increase at the rate it would have under the Affordable Care Act. Yet the way it's being portrayed is Republicans are heartless and evil, and they're throwing Granny off a cliff. You've seen the ads. You've seen the way it's been presented. Cuts mean something very different in Washington than they do to you and I, and you as a successful businessman. A cut would presumably be a cut in something from this level to a smaller level, but in Washington, a cut is reducing the rate of growth. Having said that, how do you advise Republicans and the people who expect to get money from you how to, stiffen their spine on this one?
Well, I mean, they're not going to do it just, for the money from us and from Dallas donors. Obviously, at the end of the day, my father and I each have a vote. But they use the money that they get here to win more votes in their respective districts. And it's just, they're going to have to do what they've promised to do. If they don't do it, they're not going to get the votes, and they've already promised it. They just have to fulfill the promises that they made to the American people.
Just fulfill it, just do it with something, anything, because then you move on to tax cuts, and that's something presumably we're hearing from the White House, and Speaker Ryan is going to be done in the fall. If that timetable slips, what do you do? Right.
Well, I think they're going to get it done. I think they'll get. I think we'll see some amendments this week. It may not have it done and ready to go by Friday, but in talking to Ted Cruz this week, Mark Meadows, Congressman Mark Meadows, there's some Mike Lee. We talked to different people out at the Koch seminar.
That was the one in Colorado Springs last weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Right.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So they've got great plans, some good amendments to make to it. They're either going to make it more conservative and lose Heller and some votes, or they're going to make it more, more like Obamacare, and they'll lose Ted Cruz and Mike Lee and Rand Paul. So they've got to make a decision on which way are they going to go. I think it's a lot easier to make it a little more conservative and then step up and do it. And they can always amend it later and make changes as needed. But what we have now is a disaster. What we had before was better, than before Obamacare.
You were mentioning briefly, Dean Heller, the Republican Nevada senator. There was an earlier threat by a Trump surrogate group to primary him or to challenge him in a primary. as a warning and as a sort of a threat. They rescinded that. But what do you make of that? Is it too early to do that kind of stuff?
Oh, I think it's way too early to do that. I think that may be an option at some point. I mean, you don't reward bad behavior. And so, you know, if these guys are going to not do what they said they're going to do, they're not going to have the spine to stand up and support the president. And this is what this is all about. You know, the president needs their support. I think he can rally them and get it done. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic, so I'm
but
not
you know,
that
the markets have been
frankly.
falling off. I think that technology is a big player today. I understand that. But I think these markets trade tick for tick on the likelihood of this agenda getting done. And the more the reality hits that that's a possible event that won't happen, I think the more problematic it could be. What do you think?
I don't think the markets have anything to do with what Congress does. I don't think they pay that much attention or worry that much about it at this point.
I don't know. They don't get those tax cuts. They don't get that health care. You don't think that's going to have an impact?
I think it's already been priced in. So I think, yeah, I think if they don't get the tax cuts, it could hurt. But they'll get the tax cuts done. I'm very confident.
All right. We'll see what happens. Thank you very, very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neil.